Okay, we've had quite a number, not as much as we'd expect, but this is okay, and I think we should start. And every other person joining us can always go back to watch the recording of the meet. So, hi everyone. My name is Opemipos Oyebadejo, and I'm the moderator for today's session. I'm a volunteer at Aquaworld and an aquaculture specialist. Today, we're going to be having a very interesting presentation. Not let's say conversation, because Paul told me he doesn't have a slide and he is planning to give us something different, making sure that everyone understands and gets along with this session. So he said it's going to be more interactive and kind of be like a conversation. So please feel free to drop questions. Feel free to signify if you want to say something, or if you have specific question in regards to anything he's saying, feel free to signify, feel free to put a message in the inbox. So basically, our presenter today is Paul, Samuel Paul. Samuel Paul is an aquaculture specialist also, and is basically into promoting the aquaculture business. For those that don't know what Aquaworld is about, because I know everyone saw Aquaworld, and then this series is under Aquaworld, and we're doing this under the Aquaworld umbrella. So I'm going to be telling you a little bit about what Aquaworld is about. So Aquaworld is a youth-inclusive, non-governmental developmental initiative. It was funded by Iweola Paul Ayomide in 2019, and basically Aquaworld focuses on like creating solutions to promoting the marine environment and deploying pragmatic approaches to improving the aesthetics of coastal communities. So what we do basically is community development impact in carrying activities such as trainings, gender-focused trainings, aquaculture-focused trainings, go about to do school outreaches, and examples are also like series like this. So all this falls under the activities that Aquaworld actually do to promote the aquatic environment and its aesthetics. So today we're going to be drifting a little bit from the fishery aspect and like the basic aquaculture aspect, which is the fishery, the marine environment that is mostly discussed in this series, and we're coming into the culture aspect, which is the aquaculture aspect. So now this topic somehow sounds as if, okay, this is recording and all for like basically in aquaculture, but the fact is these skills, this financial recording skills that Samuel is going to be discussing to us, that's going to be telling us about today, is something that you can also use in other business aspects. So this is a knowledge that you can actually use to excel in other business aspects, not only if you are in aquaculture or if you want to promote aquacultural sustainability. So I will invite Samuel to start. I hope you guys enjoy it and you're able to get one or two from it. Feel free to ask questions, drop the questions in the chat board, signify if you have something. Thank you. Samuel, please, can you proceed? We are looking forward to hearing you speak. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Big Sis. I call her my Big Sis because she's a leader, she's my mentor, and she's someone I look up to even in this industry, aquaculture industry, and she has set a pace and we follow. Thank
Sorry,
you so much
Samuel,
for
I'm not sure if we can hear you clearly because I can't hear you clearly.
Okay, can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Am I clear now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes,
Okay,
I can hear you at my end. But sorry, is it possible you activate your video so that at least even if you don't have a slide, we'll be able to be able to enjoy your discussion very well.
Okay, I should put on my video, right?
Yeah, if possible, please.
Yes, if possible, Samuel.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can everyone see me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry, I'm just getting back from work and a little bit stressed. So I had to rush home to do this. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Samuel, and I've been privileged to lead multiple innovations in promoting aquaculture business. Just like she mentioned earlier, I started right from 300 level, and right from there, my own major goal is to solve the issue of food security. And I visited a farm, an aquaculture farm in Ibadan called Aquapet during my field trips time in school, and I asked a question from all the farms that we visited, and they said, with all our large production, we are not able to meet up with market demand. So that gave me a concern, and I said, okay, yeah, maybe I'll go and get a large hectare of land and start producing fish. But then I had to look at sustainability, and I know that no, I can actually also meet up with market demand going that way. I have to build people and promote the business, make it enticing, make it attractive for youth to also be in this. So we have more people in the production chain, and we are able to create food for the growing population in Nigeria. And that has been my mandate, and that has been what I've been doing right since 300 level. So while I was still in school, I also started my own fish pond, backyard fish pond, raising over 1,000 capacity, fish at the back of my hostel. I rented pond there, and I started raising fish, selling to Malam. I raised to 3 months and sell at melon size. And from there, I started an academy, a school where we train people on how to do aquaculture business virtually, then hosting conferences all across Africa, hosted webinars, and also now currently the visionary lead for aquaculture students community. We had our first event, the first of its kind, just there's light. We had our first event, the first of its kind, just last 2 weeks, August night, and majorly why this topic is coming up is financial record and production record is because I'm building a record keeping solution, because this has been an issue while I was still in school and I was running my own fish pond. I noticed that record keeping is a very big issue. And my discussion and association with top leaders last in Lagos State, during their discussion with the CBN governor, that called all aquaculture stakeholders in Lagos and say, okay, yeah, please, we want to know how can we fund aquaculture business in Lagos? Do you have record of your production? Can we see your cash flow? Can we see your financial book and so on and so forth? And believe me, no farmer is able to provide their record. No farmer at all can say that this is my record that I've kept consistently. Even though they are using a book, they don't have records. So it's a very big issue, right? Because now CBN turned down have records. It's not like the poultry business, this and that, this and that. And this is what we are going to be discussing today: financial and production record, right? Financial and production record. And let me tell you, I think majorly farmers that have stayed long in business, they are not seeing aquaculture as a business, because if they take it in terms of business, you know that there should be a financial model, there should be a financial record, there should be a production record, and it must be sustainable. It must show your cash flow, your profit margin, and your cost of production. So many farmers, even people that graduate from the so-called department, though we borrow course like ARE and so on and so forth, most of the time we don't really focus on finance, because in school we are not major all these record keeping practices, skills that actually help business grow. So you can hear a farmer say that, oh, do this business and I got over 40 or 60% of profit margin, I can tell you that most of the time is a lie. They can't actually actualize or say that this is my specific margin on this business. And most of the time, they are maybe getting 20% plus or minus, maybe 5 on what they are doing. So this is just the foundation. While we move on, I'll start with talking about what is financial record, what is production record, and we can take it from there. So firstly, before I start or move on, I would like maybe I don't know how many people are on this call to tell me what are their expectations, what do you expect to learn from this session today. At least you've checked your team is financial and production record. What is your expectation? What are you expecting to go away with during the session today? So can I have anyone? You can just raise up our hand, maybe the button or unmute to say that. Anybody? Okay, Peter, thank you. Go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Good evening. Yeah, sure, I can.
All right. Good evening, Samuel. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, my name is Peter. Yeah, my expectation from this discussion is having a realistic plan on what it takes to start as a fish farmer, or not necessarily a fish farmer, going into anything production anything production, maybe as an entrepreneur. Because most times when people want to come up with plan, or they might not necessarily give something realistic, or there are some things behind, for every success goals, it is not something strict. So there are some things left unturned, some things not said. But I would appreciate if you go far beyond something theory, should I say something theory or something in the book. So maybe in the case of sharing your experience, I think that would help better. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, good. So what I jotted down, you need a reality plan when it comes to production and majorly practical use of this topic we are talking about, financial and production record. So who else wants to share the expectation? Maybe you can have 2 more, then we drive with that. Should I call
Yeah,
names?
Paul.
Okay, yeah.
I think Mr. Paul Peter has already said some of the things I want to say. So my own expectation is that I really want you to go beyond aquaculture. I mean, relating financial and production records beyond aquaculture, go beyond relating it to aquaculture alone. I want you to go far and wide and probably relate it in a way that everybody can incorporate it into probably their daily lives or in other business wise. Do you get? Thank you.
Oh, good. Okay, okay. So expectation number 2 is other businesses use cases. So who is going next? I need 1 more, then we drive from there.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd also tell us if you have like a model that works. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, model that works. All right, so I'll be working with this other business use cases and model that works. So firstly, I'm going to be asking a question, and also I'm going to ensure this answers the question. The first one is, can your business pay for your fixed asset? Right? You don't need to answer. Number 2 is that you can't sell a farm and make profit. So if you see someone selling a farm and making profit, like one of my mentors is saying, is that the land has appreciated. So we are going to take it from there, And I said I'm going to be talking about firstly the financial record and the production record. What does this mean? Now, financial record, I'm not going to be defining. I'm just going to be telling you what it indicates on the farm. Talks about the efficiency of your management system. That's it. That's just it. Production record rather. Production record talks about how efficient is your management system, the system, the kind of culture system you are using. How is it efficient? If you keep production record, it will show you that yes, this your system, the way you operate, what you are doing is efficient enough to sustain you in business. And majorly, it talks about how have you perfected your FCR, which is feed conversion ratio. And you will believe me that 80% of what you are doing in production when it comes to aquaculture is on feed. So if you can perfect your feed conversion ratio, then your system of management, your management system, your culture system is not efficient. Number two is that how have you maximized your stocking density? And that means that if you have, maybe you want to go into 5,000 capacity, how do you use that 5,000 capacity pond or system that you want to use to have good profit margin? Now, for your business to be bankable, any business at all to be bankable, you've mentioned I should go into wide use cases. Now, for any business to be bankable, there are three things that an investor will look at to say, okay, yeah, we can actually invest in this business. Number one is what? Your profit margin, right? Number two is your cash flow. And number three is your cost of production. If this thing is not clearly stated, how far is your profit margin? How much? What is your cash flow? How often do what? Money come into your business? Number three is cost of production. What is the cost of production versus gross revenue and your net profit? So these three, any business and every business must answer to for you to attract investment. So you see me when I was saying that when they say that farmers should bring their stuff, CBN called them that they should bring their reports. They are not able to show this. Most of what they will see, what you see farmers do is that okay, yeah, I feed in the morning. Okay, yeah, I feed in the afternoon. We bought this, we bought that, we bought this one, we bought this one. Does it show how you have managed your production well, right? It has not, right? Because if it's just feeding, you are recording what you bought, what you did not buy, and so on and so forth. Those are not records to keep. Now let's go into the business. Firstly, you must see aquaculture as a business if you want to go into it, right? Aquaculture can be an hobby. Yeah, we know. Someone can just say, let me just do 1,000 capacity for leisure. A great mentor once said, I learned others say that before you can do aquaculture business and say you want to see it as a business you can be making much more profit in, you have to have a stocking density of at least 10,000 capacity, at least. So if you are still culturing 1,000 to between 1,000 and 9,000, you can still say that you are doing it for leisure. You cannot really employ worker that you'll be paying handsomely well. Of course, you need cheap labor to work with you, but then you will make your profits, but you can't make a good profit margin. Note, you will make profits on raising those kind of stuff, but you can't make a good profit margin. Remember, I said that can your business pay for your fixed asset? So when you are talking about profit margin, it means that you made so much profit that when you calculate all your fixed assets, your profit can actually buy your fixed assets not one, but even double, right? So now, when we are talking about production record, we have to talk about inventory records. And in aquaculture, it starts from your site selection, right? The inception of the year, the site, I wrote here the culture system, the business model, your marketability, your market penetration, and of this stuff. you have to also ask yourself, can I get premium price for my production if the cost of production is high? Right? Another question, can I get premium price for my production if the cost of production is high? Now, we are in a kind of sector that is, well, not really regulated, but when you want to talk about customer buy-in, customer always compare price. Customers are price sensitive. So if your cost of production, your cost of setting up your business is on the high side, you can't place. Have you ever seen someone that placed premium on maybe production of fish? That because I'm selling in this location, my fish should be fish that is normally maybe 3,500 per kg. And because of your own location or your cost of production, I say now should be 6,500. Nobody will buy from you. Nobody will buy from because customers are price sensitive unless maybe there's a value addition that have gone into it, right? So you have to
Sorry, Mr.
start
Sam, I didn't
your
get what
inventory
you're
record.
the
Okay, now what
statement
I'm
you
saying
made.
is
I
that
didn't.
I asked a question. What did you say? Come again.
I said the statement you just made that you mentioned that customers are price or cost sensitive, and you
Yeah,
relate that with location. That when you are in a location, you say that because you are in this location, you have to make your price go higher. Did I get that?
yeah, you got that. So
Okay,
now I
so
said that
that's what
they are in an irregulated market. Of course, there's no, this is the actual price that this product must be. And that is what, from my few years spent with the association, they have been trying to develop something called fish card. And that fish card will legalize you to become a authorized fish seller or fish production person, right? And the price can be regulated. And why they want to regulate this price is because there are fishmongers that we buy from you, the main production end, right? That will go and sell it at higher price. Maybe you are selling to them at 3,500, they go and sell at 4,500 because they are going to sell it in pieces to those that don't understand the market. But for you, you are selling to the fishmongers. Unless you want to go your way route to also have another marketing end that you are also a fishmonger and you are also the production person, right? But like I said, customers are price sensitive. Before they buy from you, they will always inquire, how much is this one selling the fish here? How much are they selling the fish here? If they are buying in bulk, they will not buy from you if your price is higher because they will say the fish is the same thing. There is no way you can actually interact with the customer to say that I use this so amount of feed. Can't you see my culture system is very expensive? I tiled all my pond. I am using the expensive cement to do my concrete pond. Nobody will help you hear that. That is why we say that what? Can you get premium price for your production if the cost of production is high? And now when we are talking about cost of production, you have to factor in your what? Your site selection and your construction of your site, your construction of your system. Okay, let's say that you want to use concrete pond. Why do you need to go as far as tiling your pond? Why do you need to go as far as using um, excessive materials? We do not say you should not use quality materials. Use quality materials that will last a long time. But then don't be extravagant in spending. Think about profit margin first. Think about, can your business pay for your fixed asset? Maybe in the first year, in the second year, in the third year, or by the fifth year of your business. Can it pay for it? So from this inventory mindset that, okay, I need to start cutting costs right from my construction, then you can know that, yeah, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do. I remember when I want to set up my archery, and um, I needed, I did a cost of production that, okay, I'll get this type of tank and cut it into two. I'll get this, I'll get that. But then I now noticed that really the system where the fish is being cultured doesn't matter to the customer. So if I've spent excessively on getting those material when I can improvise, I can get maybe bait tub that people don't use anymore and buy it. I can just ask, is information that I need, is updates that I need, is to ask, and instead of me getting a tank of 50,000, I can get a bait tub that has been used that I can reuse at maybe 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, then construct my inlet and outlet to it and have a good management system. Like I said, we are talking about 2 records here. We are still on production records. And that production record, you said that what? It is what tells if your what? The efficiency of your management system. So if your management system must be efficient, if your culture system must be efficient, you have to cut down costs on your construction of your sites or maybe pond or all these stuff and so on and so forth like that. All right. And the next one is your culture system, just like what we are still discussing. Now, when we are talking about culture system, another important thing to consider is energy budget. Energy budget. So whether you say that, okay, me, I want to use recirculatory system to actually raise my fish. You know that is on high side on energy budget. You have to start factoring into your cost of production, cost of energy. Either it is light, either it is solar, either it is generator, it is fuel you are using. You have to factor in what? Energy budget. And you know the country that we are. Nigeria does not favor energy budget when it comes to you that you are just starting in production. I believe any business does not favor it. Now, I'll also tell you in other use cases. I worked as an aquaculture um, health, health laboratory assistant in Ikorodu, and it's just a new startup then. So we were running on fuel. Now there's light, but we run on fuel every day. That's like 10,000 naira fuel every day for like 2 months. And you know, 10,000 naira in 5 days, we are spending like 50,000 naira on fuel. And we never made 1, 2 customers. Though we are running the laboratory, and you know, laboratory, there must be light. So in some cases where there's no light, we have to be on gen 24/7. But later on, after 2 months of business, we saw that we only generated 500,000 naira plus from 30 customers. But equipment that we procured, we have equipment of 6 million naira. Just to maybe you want to analyze, we have incubators, we have microscope, we have all of this. And we can actually say that we can make, or our profit can actually pay, because even let's say we have like 5 staffs, the vet doctor there will collect at least 200,000 naira. Let's say as a startup, 200,000 naira as a startup. Then the rest of the people that are there will be collecting 100, 150, or at least 70,000 naira for that start, for the start of the business. Now you see that it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable because even the profits we've made in 2 months cannot pay the salary of the workers. Though when you're starting up a business and you have to project for 6 months, you have to know that this is the salary of the number of staff you want to hire for 6 months. You can have that down, then work on your business, and always have this mindset when you go into business that for the first year, don't think profit first. Think on establishing markets and audience, trusted customers, loyal customers that can give you repetitive business, right? So when you have that, the second year you cannot start thinking of profit. But then after 2 months, we know that we need to start cutting down costs on energy budgets because we can't go on like this. The business can never be profitable this way. So we started giving timetable to our generator use. So when we come in the morning until 11 to 1 before we put on the gen. The next one might be okay, 2 to 3 to 5. when we are closing, we put on the gen again. Then the lab technicians, they carry out their activities within those period of time. If there's light, good luck for us. If there's no light, we have cut our energy budget and we can actually cut it by half and still run sustainably. Now, am I saying this is because energy budget is one of the critical things that you need to cut cost on in every cycle of production. Now, we are not even going to examples on how you should run your business. Now, I'm going to do that very fast because I see that our time is fast spent. We are 30 minutes into the meeting. So, I'm going to give a practical example on how to actually do this. And I think that's the third expectation. What model can work? Now, on production record, I said that two things. How have you perfected your FCR achievement and how have you maximized your stocking density? We are going to talk about these two now. So let's say you want to run a business or an aquaculture farm and you want to start 15,000 capacity production. You want to start 15,000 capacity production. The model that works is to do a batch stocking. And what is batch stocking? Batch stocking means that you want to run your production for 3 months. And that 3 months, you want to raise 15,000 tons of fish, right? 15,000 capacity fish, right? For that 15,000 pieces of fish that you are buying, don't buy it at once. You can have maybe a large pond that is about 15,000. Segment it using APA system. There is APA system. You can segment it using APA system into 3 places. Now, you know, we are talking about your financial record. This will lead to financial record. You will segment it into 3 places. We did this majorly even when I was at Search Farm. We will segment our pond with APAs. We will stock one this month, stock one another month, stock one another month. Around 2023, around September, I consulted for a woman in the US. She's a software engineer, and she said she wants to set up a 10,000 capacity farm in Aja. So that cost of production was about 14 million naira. Without even seeing me or my business partner, she sent the money over, and we were on the site working, doing that. And the advice we give to her is that don't stock this 10,000 capacity ones. Let us have 3 ponds that can take 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. We stock this month. We stock 3,000 the second month. We stock 3,000 the third month. So that by 3 months flow, at the end of 3 months, you are making your money in this one. At the end of 3 months, you're harvesting this one. At the end of 3 months, you're harvesting this one. At the end of 3 months, you're harvesting this one. Like that, you can be having a cash flow every month. But what most of the farmers do is that they will stock all the 15,000 capacity ones down. And on the third month, they harvest. Before they can now make another cash flow is the next 3 months, which is not a good financial status for you to be what? Bankable by investor. Because investor want to see how you make money monthly. Do you make money monthly for this business? Or do we have to be waiting every 3 months for you to make money from the business? So maybe you have made a mistake by creating a large 15,000 hectare pond. You can still do it that way. Segment your pond using an APA system, right? And that APA system, you can stock that. APA system means you insert another net inside your pond to divide it into 3 places. A net called APA. APA is a type of net that is used for fish production, and it is submerged inside a pond, right? Earthen pond, mostly earthen pond, or maybe cage culture system. Maybe you are doing cage culture system. So what you do is that when you segment that your pond of 15,000 capacity, or even there is 1,000 capacity into 3, you can now use nets to demarcate each production cycle. You stock 5,000 in this one this month for month of July. In month August, you stock another 5,000 here. In month of September, you stock another 5,000 here. And you will see that before the one you stock in July, by September that you are stocking another one, you're already making money from the one you stock in July. The one you stock in August, by October, you're already making money from it. The one you stock in September, by November, you're already making money for it. So like that, you are doing what? A batch stocking process. And like that, you can have what is called a cash flow. Now, when you have a cash flow, there is an issue there, because if you have 15,000 capacity, don't ever stock up to 15,000 capacity. You have to be able to give room for breathing, because that would be too much cumbersome, and there might be issue of cannibalism. You are not able to do all those kind of stuff, aeration problem, and so on and so forth like that. So if you have 15,000 capacity, you can decide to stock 13,000 fish, and you can still make your profit margin. Now, when we talk about making profit margin, there are little costs that people don't take note. When you want to cost your business to know whether you make profit, it's not because after the 3 months you now make sales, you think you've made profit. No, you've not made profit, because you need to cost of production. And cost of production is not only feed alone and your energy budget. Your majorly is around energy budget and feed, and maybe salary of workers and so on and so forth. But it's not basically on this. You have to also do a depreciation cost on your construction system. The pond you are using will depreciate whether in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years. You have to start adding depreciation cost to it and start removing it, keeping it somewhere, and say, okay, yeah, this is the total profit we made for this year. Now, as go, you have to start thinking on how can I cost down on energy budget. You have to calculate. Now, one of the great things is feed, because feed increase every month in price. It's on rare occasion you see that maybe feed price for it happens, but not occasionally. It may be occasionally, but frequently feed price is set to increase. So if your culture system production for this cannot actually pay for next feed buy-in for the next 3 months, then there's a problem. That is why we always advise batch system, right? So now this is it. If you buy your feed at 10,000 naira this month, there's probability that by next month you might be buying it at 10,500. So if you don't cost down on other cost of production like the energy, salaries, and all of those stuff that you needed to cost down on, you may not be able to buy feed the next time. It will be shocking that your feed will have increased. So for every feed that you bought, it will expire. If the production comes out this month, it expires for 6 months. So like that, you can even buy your feed in advance to also save cost. It's advisable, don't buy feed that you cannot use in the next 6 months. Always buy feed that you know for the next 6 months you are going to consume it. These are strategies to cost down cost of. And yeah, so let me stop here a bit before I move ahead to know if there are questions, if the audience gets what I'm trying to explain since morning, before I move further.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Please, does anybody have a question or something before he proceeds?
So are there questions?
Samuel, I think you should just proceed to the end, and then anybody that has a question would ask.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well done, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for the insights. So I just want to ask a very brief question and more or less like a clarification. Yeah, you made mention of customers. That's okay. You cannot, because of your own cost of production and increased price of fish. I'm just trying to remember the way you said it, but I can't put it in your word now. I cannot quote you the way you said it. So I'm just a bit curious. we are in Nigeria, and everybody wants to take opportunity. They want to take advantage of every other person. I'm trying to put
Okay,
the area that I live here in the context, irrespective of the general market price. On the highland here, we get to find out that people would get to inflate their own price, irrespective of what the general price is saying. So in that case, do you still believe the fact that because your own cost of production is kind of high or something, that's okay, you cannot increase the price that you sell to your customers? And at the same time, the word customer that you use is kind of, I don't know, very huge, because customers can be broken into several distinct. We have customers that will be buying directly from you as a farmer, and as well, we have the end consumers. Those people too are their customers. Do you get? So I just want a kind of better clarification about that.
okay, yeah. Fortunately, I'm a marketing student, and when we talk about customers, like you said, we have customers that actually no now we have customers, we have consumers, right? And I'll make a scenario from this. Most of the scenario we use is that, for instance, let's say you have a grandma, right, that needs, or maybe that's on outside now, outside aquaculture. Let's take our mind outside aquaculture. You have a grandma that has, God forbid, you have a grandma that has leg pain. She's uneducated, she's not online, she's not visible to the internet, and you as the son or the daughter of that grandma, right? Maybe granddaughter or grandson, you now saw that okay, this is this product that can actually solve my grandma's leg pain. Someone market it to you. Anyone that pays you the money is your customer, and your customer can actually pay you and also be your consumer because they paid and they use it. That means if it is that granddaughter that is having that leg pain and is able to pay you and also use your product, that person is both a customer and a consumer. And this works, this is some of the things you need to consider when it comes to marketing strategies and all of that, right? And the grandma is the consumer. The grandma is the one that will use the product, but the grandma is not the customer because it's not the grandma that pays you, interact with you. So it's two ends of what you're trying to say. Now, when I mentioned that most of the time, people that actually have high cost of production will shortchange themselves and may not really make um, uh, high profit margin or might lose customer loyalty depending on the kind of how the person can keep customers or how the person can sell the value proposition narrative to the customer. It depends if the person will be able to continually, I mean, consistently sustain that high cost of production. Like I said that the market, the customers are always price sensitive. You will have loyal customers that will buy from you because they like it. But how many of them can you sustain? Now, this will work if you are selling a different premium product, right? You are selling a different premium product, and it is premium buyers that buy from you, and they buy because of the feeling of class and the kind of class that you put on your product. You will consistently keep those kind of customers to keep coming to you. But Nigeria, they are polygamous buyers. I can tell you. I attend marketing events, even though I'm in aquaculture industry, because I know that marketing initiatives are needed in aquaculture industry. And according to Experiential Marketing Association of Nigeria, we tell you that anytime there is brand activation and brand experience event where customers have to interact with your business due to some of the events you bring up, customer loyalty reduce. And we are in the era that customer loyalty is reducing because of people have now they need to budget themselves, they are now focusing on need than want. The need to live will be higher than the need that, yeah, I need to buy from this person. So, yeah, you did not buy, you see, it's this time that we are, this is Nigeria, this time. It's not that we don't want to buy from you, but you need to, like I said, how long can you consistently keep? I'm not saying that you should not raise your cost according to your cost of production. It will be so damaging for you not to do that, right? If you know that you are incurring high cost of production, what I'm saying is that check what is actually causing the high cost and how can you cut down the cost to actually meet up with the market. So if it is energy, how can you cost down on energy? If it is your system of production, like I said, your production record talks about how efficient your management system is. And investors will look at this. These are the questions investors will ask you before they can fund your business. What's your culture system? What of it if it depreciates? How do you do it back? If they see that the money going into managing your culture system is higher and will not give them a big profit projected, they will likely not invest in it and invest in someone that has improvised in using an efficient management system that will cut down their cost of production and make far profit margin. I'll give you an example. I'm a pitch deck strategist, and there is a hub in Akure that I help most of their pitch businesses design pitch deck. And this woman came to me that, Samuel, I've gotten a rate to actually run my business and get my NAFDAC registration done. I'm streamlining my number of products and reducing the cost of production, the cost price of my store. I said, ma, don't reduce the cost price because you make far profit margin. Now, she had an option. The option is that someone told her that your product that you get, your raw material that you get, limited. Maybe you get it one by one. You can actually get it in bulk. Now, she can get it in bulk. Now, because she can get it in bulk, she now wants to also reduce her cost of production because her sales price. She wants to reduce her sales price because her cost of production is now low. I said, ma, don't do that. It's not efficient for your business. Because if you reduce your cost of production, people are price sensitive. If you want to raise it back, people will not be able to. I said, it's a more profit margin for you. Because if you reduce, now that you found a way to reduce your cost of production, why don't you just keep the price and say that, okay, I'll be having a discount sales for the next 3 to 6 months at this price. Maybe this ember period that is coming, I want to have a discount sales at this price. Nobody will know that your cost of production is low. That is why you are doing a discount sales. And you can actually get more customer in to buy at that rate. And you are still making enough margin for yourself. Now, because she's found a way to what? To reduce on her cost of production or raw material procurement. There is no reason to now say that you should now reduce your sales price. You can actually just do a discount sales and just be doing a discount sales, strategically do a discount sales to attract new customers, to get into customers' mind, to let them know you care about them, you really want them to have this and so on and so forth. So for that person that has an high cost of production system, you have to improvise. There's no, because you can't sustain that kind of stuff. You may sustain it maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, depending on the strategy you use. But I can tell you, the customers will always give into price matter. We are in a kind of price market era or business where before customers think of value, is rare. So there are customers that actually think value. But how many customers think value first before price? Many customers that we have in Nigeria today think of price before value. So this is what we are talking about on when we talk about keeping your record, keeping your financial record, your production record, and how bankable it is. So I don't know, Mr. Elijah.
Yes, thank you very much for that clarification. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
let me just okay. Just
I
something.
thought that was the end because we are really running out of time. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. maybe
Yeah, hello.
it's not a problem. I just want
Can you
to,
hear me?
yeah, Joy.
Okay. So this problem I have noticed from my interaction with people, especially in Lagos,
Okay.
Nigeria. So how do you solve the issues of land scarcity when it comes to fish farming in Nigeria?
How do you solve the issue of land
Land scarcity. Do you
land
hear?
scarcity?
Yes.
Is it in terms of fish business?
Yes, in terms of fish farming. Like for example, now I've gotten clients here in Lagos that they want to go into fish farming, but they they don't have lands. And most land here in Lagos, they are residential areas. So even if you want to do anything there, the water will smell. So it's quite a challenge over here. So I don't know if there's like a way to go about it.
Where's your area?
Ikeja, Lagos.
Okay, okay, okay. Now I'll say two things. I'll say two things, and I'll give example from one of my consultation. I mentioned earlier in this that we actually consulted for a client in US to set up their farm in Aja. Now, one of the issues about island waters is that island waters contain lithium, and to actually work in this kind of area is a lot of cost on purifying the water before you see. Site selection is one of the that is going into production. Though we actually used that place, but there are issues that developed during that time, and is that the water we just get black, very black, and you see fish. Actually, some fish will float. They're already dead at that time. So all we needed to do was to can someone I think there's
So I can't hear you. What did you have to do?
enjoy you can mute yourself. I think there's a background noise coming
Okay.
from you. Okay, thank you. So now what we did was to now do a surface pond. When we talk about situation in Lagos, there is land. The issue is drainage, like we mentioned, but there is land, and what you need to do is soil. Majorly, what is plenty or rampant in Lagos pond is surface pond system. I mean, if it's not concrete pond, it is tarpaulin pond. That is the system that is working in Lagos. Not like other that they are just you can actually find them around beach area. You can dig your eating pond, you sinking, waterlogged area, and so on and so forth like that. But in Lagos, if you can get a space, number one is you have to check the structure of the environment, because this is what we do. You have to check what is the drainage structure of that water pass through. Where is the next drainage now? And if you pass your water through this gutter is good, you have to test the topography of that. And this is what we did when we were doing that in Nigeria. We test if we dig a soak away and run water through that, all the soak away will not be filled and later become a problem in the future. So these are extensive research you need to do in that area. But better still, if you know that you can't do that in that area, there are nearby places in Ogun State here that you can actually find for your client to use that are most efficient, and they have good drainage structure. Because if there's no drainage structure, it's advisable. You can't do a tip pond in somewhere like Ikeja. Of course, you can't do. It's not possible, right? Even the government can allow that. Even your community cannot allow you to do that, because they'll be worried about, hope my own land will not go and sink due to water that is the drainage and the water sinking into their own foundation and so on and so forth. You can't do that. So majorly surface pond. Is either you do concrete or you use tarpaulin tanks to run your fish. But then the drain structure is what you need to check. If the drainage structure in that environment is good, you can actually run your water out. Maybe at night, you can do it at night, you just run your water, it flows, and you flush out your water overnight. Then in the morning, before anything is good, right? And there is, I've forgotten now, there is this stuff that is being used that even though you are using a soak away system, when you pour it, I can't remember the name now. When you pour it into your soak away, the water will not smell. There is much innovation around that. Your fish water will not even have an odor. So you can make more research. Maybe when I get more research on that, remember the name, I can send it to the host and can get that. So this is my advice for you. I don't know if that's really satisfying your question. So I think we
Thank you
can stop
so
here
much.
actually.
Yeah.
Stop here.
Yes. Thank you so much, Samuel. Liz, does anybody have question? We can just get one more question to go, just because we're already far behind time. Anybody with question? Samuel, while somebody's thinking, I have a question. So basically, you were saying something about what's it? Your inventory records. So you made a statement saying the cost of your production, like basically in terms of your inventory records, you should ensure that what you're using to produce is not more than what you like. You can make up, you can make as much as the amount of money you spend in setting up your farm. You should make sure that you can actually make up that. Is it during the first year or on the long term you're talking about?
Okay, yeah, it's not first year. Like I said, I mentioned in between that when you are in your business, the first year don't think about profit because you're actually just building the business. You know, it's called building. You have to lay the foundation, you have to lay your first brick and so on and so forth. Before you can now accommodate, you get to the roofing level, everything is set before you can now accommodate other stuff.
Yeah,
So
and
for the
also
first year, actually think about profit. But
okay,
ongoing from second year, cutting
okay,
down
so
cost of production.
okay. So do you also prioritize the cost to the durability of the materials you use? Do you say, okay, this is cheaper, even if it's going to last less longer than the more expensive one? So do you prioritize the price over the durability of the materials you use in your construction? Like, what do you advise in terms of that?
Okay, now when it comes to cost of materials and durability, of course you need to use a durable product. But like I said, if it is your first year, if it is able to achieve what you can achieve, if it is able to get what you can get, even using the expensive material, please use it. It's called business. Like I said, customers don't know how expensive the materials you are using is. At least I've interned in where you've interned before, and I know the kind of stuff that they use there. They use better. They use tarpaulin ponds that are not um, the original source. They can secure bait tubs from used canoes and so on and so forth, and they run the business to a sustainable, at least measure. And not say, okay, yeah, we cannot start getting standard materials, getting this because customers don't actually care. We call it doing business. Can it give you enough profit margin to actually say that you can pay for your fixed asset? If you have that mindset, it's not that you won't use something durable, but for business sake, for getting profit margin. Now, this does not apply in other businesses that you don't need to. It doesn't mean that in other businesses that you need to use 10 naira sugar, you use 5 naira sugar, right? It can't work. This strategy cannot work in other business, right? In some business that are maybe doesn't have to do with materials that are durable. If it is one-time use material, I mean one-time use material that you can consume immediately, consumable materials that you can consume immediately. You can't use this strategy. Please note. But if it is a material that you need to keep using on and on, you can improvise first on that, then go for the quality materials later when you've made enough profit money.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. We have a question from Jidida. Okay, so please, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah. First of all, my name is Jedediah. That's the correct pronunciation. And thank you so much for the lovely presentation, Mr. Samuel. So my question, basically, I would appreciate to learn more about the feed aspect of aquaculture, because basically feed is one of the major costs, variable costs when it comes to aquaculture. So in Nigeria, what are the available options when it comes to cutting down the cost of feed in this sector? So that would be grand. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. When we talk about feed, the deals with production, we call it garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you give it is what you will get. If you do not feed your fish well, that is what you will get. If you do not, it means that your fish might have stunted growth, or they may not grow to the expectation. Let's say you want to raise them up to 300 grams in 3 months. And because you want to cut down production, you are not feeding them well. Instead of you to feed twice in a day, you're feeding them once in a day because you want to cut down production. That is not how to practice on cost of production, cutting down cost on production, because it's garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you give to them is the result they give to you. So if you don't feed them well, they expect them to go to the certain level that you make profits, right? So when it comes to alternatives, like me now, when I was running my backyard pond, I learned a lesson, and I've mentioned it, that to actually beat the price of feed when it's increasing, you can buy ahead. You can buy all the one that you need for your cost of production. You can buy it ahead. I didn't know this when I started. So I just bought the first one and later go to the market to buy another one as it's finishing. My cost of production was also increasing because I was just meeting increased price of feed. And I'll be like, our price has increased. Sometimes now become a challenge. I'm not able to now feed my fish for like 3 weeks, and it's almost like close to sales period. I was forced to sell my fish, but I didn't make profit. It was a disheartening situation. Then if you rent pond, you do a pond rentage. I started with like 150,000 naira. Then I was selling my fish and doing all those things. I hardly saw 80,000 naira. I want to cry. I was like, Jesus, that this is a big financial mistake that I did. So what I was now doing then is, because of I'm an aquaculture expert now, I now started culturing maggot. I cultured maggot, start feeding my fish, giving them, doing that. They sustained on that in 3 weeks. And because they saw the frustration in me, I'm just hungry to sell my fish out. I don't want them to die. They priced me less. I don't have choice to sell it. Someone lender me so I don't want to even go on loans. On feed now, the alternative, we have black soldier fly larva that you can use to manage on feed cost because it's still effective, just like using that. You can also culture maggots and say that, okay, if they have grown to a certain stage, maybe you have feed for 2 months. So for that black soldier fly larva, you can mix it, you can give them in the morning and feed them properly in the evening. So you can do that to reduce on cost of your spend on feed production. So I think, and maybe if you need to buy ahead, please buy ahead. So this is my advice to you. I don't know if that answers your question.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you so much, Jedediah, for the question. And I hope I got the pronunciation of your name now. Sorry about that. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We've really gone beyond the expected time. I hope you guys were able to get 1 or 2 things. Thank you so much. God bless. If you have questions, Samuel, please, can you drop your email? So anybody that has questions in regards to aquaculture businesses, yeah, they can reach out to you. Please, can you just put your email on the chat box so anybody can have a grab at that now?
That I dropped official Gmail for the company so they can reach out.
Yes. Thank you so much. And everyone that dropped comments on the chat box, I see you guys, and yes, these are valid points that has been made by the speaker. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. Peace. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.